Hello, everyone. I'm glad to welcome you on our next webinar, which is dedicated to the new approach to attribution. And we will show you how to work with the attribution results, the whole setup, implementation as a team. My name is Andrey Sukhovoy. I'm the head of analytics department here at OWOX. And I will guide you during this 1 hour through the material which I got. So just feel free to ask any questions. We have a chat, live chat, where me and my colleagues will answer you during the webinar. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want. So give me just 1 second to launch the presentation. So, just a few words about our company. We help businesses to implement Google Analytics, and on the projects of our clients are generated more than 2 million transactions weekly. So we work with all businesses who have any transactions online. E-commerce, travel projects, SaaS, and all other niches. We have some activities online and I expect clients to make some micro conversions or purchases in the web. Then we develop unique services based on Google Cloud Platform, and our projects are used by more than 6,000 clients worldwide. We are not an agency. We don't manage advertisements. We don't sell ads. Our main goal is to provide data to help businesses to make better decisions on time. And this is a list of some of our clients. So what are we going to speak today about in details? First, we'll cover the attribution setup procedure. What are the key team players that take part in this process? What are the areas of responsibility? Then I will show you how to use the attribution calculations results and how can you make decisions based on the data that we got after all the calculations and gathering all the needed data, and how to improve your campaign management. Then I will share the questions for CMO that you could ask to the data, and generally how what he would expect and how he can use the data to improve increase the revenue or decrease the cost of the ad management. And in the end, I will share some cases with our clients and show some non-standard attribution model implementation examples. So who generally takes part in setting everything up in terms of attribution and managing the efficiency of online campaigns? So first, this is the analyst. He's responsible for data preparation, for combining data in one place to be able to calculate everything in one place. Then this is a marketer who's responsible for using the reports and evaluating the performance of ad campaigns based on the data that analysts prepared and based on the data that some system that is in place in your company has created in the reports. And this is the CMO who monitors the progress in achieving goals, who takes strategic decisions about how the budget should be reallocated among the different channels, what changes we need to make, how we need to adjust bids, and etc. So he controls all the process and is the key decision maker based on the data. By the way, there are many teams where, first of all, there could be many analysts in the first stage, several marketers on the second stage, or vice versa. There could be companies where like 1 or 2 people play a role of these three positions. It is okay like the process I will share with you will be like helpful for any kind of organizational structure that you have. So first, the main goal of the analyst is to prepare the data. So he needs to provide the data quality and make sure that all calculations are done upon the correct and upon 100% correct data gathered from all the touch points based on the real revenue numbers. So first, what he needs to do is to set up the pipeline of streaming the data about user behavior actions. So the Google Analytics is the most popular tool on the market, and it is great for visualizing data, for working with the data by non-technical specialists. There are many preset reports, bunch of parameters. But if you would like to calculate the attribution and to make it in the correct way, we need to consider each session on the way to the purchase. So we need to be able to attribute the value which the user purchase brought to the business to every session which helped to move the customer through the sales funnel. So that's why we need some other tool which helps to get all the raw data, which helps to avoid sampling, which will be like more flexible for our needs, where we can build any kind of the report. So for that purpose, we chose Google BigQuery. So first, what we need to do is to set up the data pipeline from Google Analytics to Google BigQuery. So I will not stop on the technical details here. After the webinar, all the slides will be available for you. And all links here in the presentation are clickable, so you'll be able to see the documentation and study the process in detail. So this is the link which leads to the docs, where you can read how to establish the data pipeline to Google BigQuery for non-J360 users. So this is also possible, even if you don't use J360. Then for Google Analytics 360 or former premium customers, it is available out of the box. The integration with Google BigQuery, which you can set up in the web property settings, and by the link you will find the detailed guide how to do this. So after you set up the first way of data streaming, you will get hit level data almost in real time. Just in 2 to 5 minutes from the hit being sent to the server, data will appear as a new row in Google BigQuery. And then after several hours, the session level data will be calculated out of these hits. This is needed to be able to associate a particular ad campaign with the session and segment all user activities by the sessions. And to be able to compare this data with the way we are used to, with the sessions that are available in J, for example. The second way to export the data from Google Analytics for J360 customers, this session, this is the session level data. The format is a little bit different, but these two sources are at the basics for the attribution calculations. So then, once we have all the data about what users have been doing on the website and in the apps, then we need to make sure that all the transactions are in place in Google BigQuery, so we'll be attributing all the revenue that we got in our ERP system. So first, what we can do, we can again send transactions from the website using JavaScript code as the other events and page views that we are sending to J. This approach has several problems. For example, not all users use JavaScript code. This is just about 3 to 5% according to the latest statistics, but still, this will be a little bit less that you see in your reports in your CRM system. Then there could be some issues due to the page load time, or due to the slow internet connections. So for those users, you have higher risks that you will not capture some part of the transactions. So that's why there are several approaches to this. First, you can export data from your ERP system as a CSV file, then upload it to Google Sheets. And there is a connector that is written by us that we use for our clients, which you can use to send data from Google Sheets to Google BigQuery. You just need to prepare the correct structure where there will be at least user ID, who generated the transaction ID, and the correct revenue amount and correct product IDs that user purchased within this transaction. And then you can automate this process from the Google Sheet. So this is the way that you could use if you're just in the beginning and you are testing the model, because it will not be convenient to export a CSV file manually, like every hour, because this is something that you need to export constantly and on a regular basis. And in the end, there are many connectors that help you to automate the process of exporting the CRM data to Google BigQuery. There are many ETL solutions. For example, there are several drivers like ODBC driver, GDBC driver, or many services like data virtuality, or there are a bunch of them on the market. So in this way, you got 100% revenue from the transactions in BigQuery. So now we have all the user actions data and all the transaction data. And the last, which is left, we need to send all the ad campaign costs to Google Analytics first, and then export to BigQuery. Sorry, in order to be able to calculate the ROI and ROAS metrics, to be able to understand which campaigns are profitable and which are not. And there are some working from the box pipelines. For example, it is possible to set up automatic export from Facebook, Bing, MyTarget, several other systems to the Google Analytics, and furthermore to BigQuery. And if some of the sources that you use for to attract customers to your platforms, which if some of them are not in this list, then you could use the API and to send any kind of source to Google Analytics. And the cost data will be distributed according to the number of daily visits from this particular traffic source. And then I know that there are some businesses that have their internal systems to capture the traffic sources, to manage the budgets for all the traffic campaigns in their internal systems. So if you are one of these companies, then you can use the same approach as with the transactions and use ETL tools or connectors or drivers to send data to Google BigQuery from the CRM. So now we have all the necessary data in one place, so we can run the calculations. So this is the visualization of how you can set up automated data pipeline in OWOX BI. So you need to select the source, the Google Analytics source, for example. This is the user behavior data that we are sending. Then we select the type, real-time data streaming. And then we select then we are asked to provide the access. Then we select the slot where the data will be sending. First one, the Google Analytics view, and then the Google BigQuery project ID. And in the end, we got the code, the snippet that we need to place directly to the website. If you are using the standard Google Analytics JavaScript code, or which you can place in your tag management solution if you use one of them, like GTM, Tilium, or any other solutions. So if you use tag management, then you don't need any developer time to make this happen and to start stream data to OWOX BI. In the same way, we enable the coast data pipeline streaming from ad services to Google Analytics and then to BigQuery. So let's look at the data flow of what I just described. So what we need to make this happen. First, we need to set up data collection in the enhanced e-commerce format to be to make sure that all the purchase funnel steps are being tracked in our analytics system. So we need to understand when the user came to the product page, we need to understand that he was there. We need, in this case, we need to send the event or the page view that he was visiting this funnel step. And the same with the purchase and all the steps that you would like to track in your system. Next, we import all costs for non-Google campaigns, because AdWords integration is available out of the box, and it is being set up just in one click, and data is in J. So once you set up the cost data, then you need to start collecting sample analytics data in Google BigQuery. I already described two ways which you can set this up. And then you import CRM transactions data and set it up on automatically or manually if you're just testing the attribution or testing the data export to the system. So the data pipeline looks as simple as that. So once you set everything up, you can move to the calculation and setting up the interface. By the link, there is a step-by-step instruction, very detailed, so we'll not allocate all the time to this schema. So in the end, when you set everything up through the OWOX BI, for example, you will have the list of all the pipelines. You have the status, which successful means that data is being streamed currently and the setting is on. You see the source system, the target system, and you see when was the last time data was imported to the system. So in this way, you can manage everything on just one place, on just one page. So then, when you have all the data, you access the interface and you need to create the attribution model and to adjust it to your business needs. So first, as all the data is not stored in the system, in our system, you need to provide the access to your Google BigQuery project. So you will be the only one owner of your data. Once you provided the access to Google BigQuery and the application knows where to send, what are the data slots to send the calculation results, you select the project ID, you select the data set, and then you provide the name for your attribution model, and you say where to take the data and where to write the data. So in the end, once you provided all the needed accesses, the funnel, you need to describe the steps of the funnel. So let me switch to the service mode. To the service, I will show you some examples. So this is once you provided all the necessary accesses, you start creating all the steps. So here, first you can specify what funnel steps you have. For online store, it will be Usually it is a visit when a person visits the website for the first time. Then there's a product page, add to cart, checkout, purchase. As I said, it is customizable. You can edit the funnel step. You can say how it is tracked in the Google Analytics format. You can specify what is the value of the event category, what is the event action parameter, and event label to let the system know how you measure this particular funnel step. For different funnel steps, you can, for example, you can use pages for visit and product page, and then you can use add to cart as an event, and checkout and purchase as enhanced e-commerce event. So you're very flexible here. Also, you can turn off some of the funnel steps if you would like to see how would the attributed revenue distribute if to turn any step on. So what will be the most important funnel step if some of the funnel steps are out of your main funnel setting. What you also can do here, you can set up the transaction window and conversion window. So what is this? Transaction window is the period. Which you take from transaction from. For example, you have transactions during. So you would like to attribute all the transactions from March 2017. Then you specify the 30 days before the end of March here. Yes, so as this is 30 days, you specify 31 days. And then you would like to choose the period on which sessions to distribute the value of transactions specified in the transaction period. If those periods are equal, then all the sessions which happened in March will be evaluated. As we understand that some, for example, the transactions that were submitted in the first day of March, and if we have like not $5 products, if the average order value is a bit bigger, then we understand that user needs some more time to make the decision, and usually it takes at least several days. And depending on the product category, it can take like 1 month, 3 months, or even more. So based on the decision cycle length in your product categories, you specify the conversion windows. And if it will be 60 days, for example, then it means that all the sessions prior, 30 days prior to the start of transaction will get will be attributed with the revenue that were generated from the transaction value. You can also choose here what is the source of the transaction. If this is the BigQuery, then you specify the dataset name. Then you can also decide what revenue to use from the what will be the source of the value distribution, either a transaction or the product. And you can say that all the traffic channels that I use that lead the traffic to my website are manageable. It means that I can, it is usually used by the projects who have a big share of paid campaigns. So if you understand that even if in the results of the attribution calculations, you could get the recommendation that you need to increase your email is underestimated, then you understand that you will not send 50% more emails. So then you understand that some of the channels that you use are not manageable, and you would like to specify it here. and say that, for example, if the medium of the particular campaign is email, then it will be excluded from the channels that will get the value after the funnel-based calculation. And also very often brand campaigns are also excluded, because you will not like spend less on your brand campaigns because you have competitors, and so this is something that you will not be able to change. So to make the reports more actionable, you would like to exclude it just before the calculations. So this is how the model setup looks like. So let's get back to our presentation. So as I showed you live, you can change or delete or add any funnel steps, specify how the system needs to recognize that from the data that this is a funnel step and you would like to allocate revenue to it. So in the result of the analyst work should be first, all data pipelines are set up, and we have quality data to run the calculations upon. And then at least one attribution model is set up. It is better to do actually the interface is very simple, as I showed to you, but usually according to our experience, it is better that the first setup is being done by the analyst because of the following reason. If you get in the result that 95% of all the revenue is allocated to the first step of the funnel, and you understand that this is a visit, and probably so but the more difficult to make the purchase, the more revenue the last session and therefore the last traffic source needs to get. So you will understand that this is something wrong. And then you will need to look into the data and find the problem and to provide the correct data set for the calculations. So this is the task which is often done by the analyst. So the first time it is more correct to do for him. So this is some of the documentation which you can read and get deeper in the topics that we discussed. So then we run the calculations and the marketer gets the reports, and we'll show you how to apply the results of those calculations. So there are three ways to visualize data after the calculations have been made. So as I said, the service works 100% in Google Cloud. So in the end, even if you are able to access the reports from the interface, the data is still in your dataset in Google BigQuery. So from Google BigQuery first, you can ask questions in natural language directly in the interface. So it means that to query data, you don't need to write any SQL query, or you don't need to think about what parameters and what metrics to choose. You just ask the question. I will show you in a few slides how it is happening in the interface. The next way, you can create interactive dashboards and share them across your team, across your company. And for example, there is a great tool for this, which is called Google Data Studio. Google announced that it would be free, at least for this year. So it is great that the enterprise level solution is free at the market. Even if it is not yet available in your country, you can still access the service via the VPN. And so the product could have some minor issues, like if you are building the chart with the many dimensions. For a pillar chart, it could not be more than 10, for example. There are no pivot tables yet, but it is very interactive. You can visualize data in a simple way for all the members of your team to understand. So this is still a very, very great tool. And the third way is to create reports in Google Sheets. Many businesses, despite the users of any enterprise solution, still very often choose Google Sheets or Excel to work and interact with the data. And helping to the DOM that we created, it is possible to run the query directly from the Google Sheets interface, and the results of the query will be stored in Google Sheets, where you can create any charts, any pivot tables, and work in Google Sheets without leaving the interface. So let's go through each tool in details. So first, this is the example of the dashboards that you could build in Google Data Studio. So as you see, there are several types of charts that you could place on one page. You can like make stress on some key performance indicators here. For example, you can show how the number of users changed comparing to the previous month, for example, how the transactions number changed comparing to the previous period. You can see in Dynamics the number of sessions by each channel, and you can see, so you can build any chart here. So you can easily like monitor the high level KPIs of your business and the results of the attribution implementation just in one place. And as I said, it is very easily shared across your team. Then the next the next tool, which I would like to show, this is the way to query data from the Google Sheet. So after installing the add-on, you can specify the parameters of the query. And once you submit the query, it is being the query through the API is being run in Google BigQuery, and result is stored in the Google Sheet. So once you got the data in Google Sheet, you can create the pivot table as you see on the screen. So you would like to make the following grouping. For example, the name of the channel first, then the ad group name, then the campaign. So by drilling down to each parameter, you can see the metrics. You can see the sum of the sessions by a specific line. You can see the comparison of revenue attributed to this channel, or to this touch point, or to this region, or to this campaign, between the funnel-based model and compare it to the last non-direct click, which is a standard model for GA, for example. And you can see the difference both in revenue and profit, dependent on what you attribute. So very simple, very visual, very quick. So this is better for those who would like to drill down the data, but they are not very, they are used to the Google Sheets interface and work better with pivot tables than with SQL queries, for example. And the third approach to working with the data is to ask questions in the native language. So you can just simply ask with the text, like how are revenue and ROAS distributed to campaigns in the attribution models based on the specific period of time. And then in the end, you would get the result as how you queried the data with the SQL parameters. So in this way, you don't need to know the tech details. You don't have to know any language to work with the data. You just need to know what the result and what the chart you would like to receive. And then you just ask this question, and in the end you get either the table, either the charts, or both of them. And there are many kind of reports that are available out of the box, and even more that you can set up by yourself in the interface. So let's look at another type of the question. So you would like to compare how different is the revenue and ROAS comparing two models, the funnel-based approach and the last on direct click. And again, you just ask this in the text format, and there is a drop-down menu where you can select parameters that you need, and in the end you get the simple comparison. And you can sort it anyhow you want. You can implement the color coding to better visualize the campaigns which are overestimated, or vice versa, underestimated, which you can allocate more budget and get more revenue from this campaign. So also in the results, besides all the other charts, probably you have the questions, okay, I can browse the results. It is very simple to work with the outputs in any kind of visualization system, but still, what are my actions after I have the numbers? So it is very simple. In the end, you got also the report where the adjustment coefficients are calculated for each campaign. It is very simple. So what you need to do, you need to basically substitute the revenue attributed to a particular campaign or channel level according to the last click. You need to substitute it with the numbers of revenue attributed according to the funnel-based model. And then you just divide the funnel-based revenue by the revenue attributed according to the last click, and you get the adjustment coefficient. If it is more than 1, then you understand that this campaign was underestimated, and actually it brings you more revenue that you thought it does. And so for example, if you have the CPC goal in your for this particular campaign in your ad service, then you need to increase the bid by this number. So you need to multiply all your bids by this coefficient. And again, you can have some campaigns that were overestimated according to the last on direct click. These are usually some retargeting campaigns that work in the end, and therefore they are usually the ones that get the last cookie. And according to the last click model, they get all the revenue. But we understand that there are several channels that lead to the purchase. And in this way, the coefficient will be less than 1. And when you adjust bids in the ad system, then you will allocate, so you will pay less for this campaign, and so you will reallocate budget in the way that would increase your revenue with the same amount of budget of expenses. This is something that I already showed you in the interface. So once again, when you received the numbers, you can set up some more models, or you can adjust the current one. And because many businesses, and actually all the businesses, they don't have just one purchase funnel. Even for a small simple online store, it is often possible to make the purchase in one click, which makes the funnel very short, but still you need to understand how to allocate the revenue that you got from this purchase. And especially many models are often used by SaaS projects, where there are several ways to attract the customers, which are generating content, having a demo with the client, again, involving in the educational tutorials and all the kind of approaches. So you need to have, you can have several funnels and you can experiment which one will be the best for you. So we just set the funnel, set up the funnel step, change the conversion window, and remove non-manageable channels. Okay, once we have all the reports and we know how to use them, then let's go through how the CMO, what is the CMO role in all this, and how CMOs can use the attribution calculation results. So questions that could be very useful for the CMO to ask to the data could be the following. First, will we reach our sales goals in the end of the year if we don't change anything? So if we leave the same numbers as a big goals, or if you maintain the same expenses distribution among the channels, if we if you won't try some other retargeting channels, for example. So will we reach our sales goals? So if the answer is yes, then okay, so then it will be an interesting tool for you to try, but probably this is not something you will be doing. This is not something you would like to invest all your time. So maybe you would play with the conversion rate on the website instead of managing the instead of optimizing the advertising budget. If the answer is no, and actually this is no, maybe in 99% of cases, then you would like to understand what are really the roles of each of your channels that you use. You'd like to understand what is the difference. If we, for example, combine online behavioral data with the offline purchases, how will the traffic efficiency will change? Because there are some campaigns and some channels that attract more sales for offline. And if we don't take that data into consideration, they will be always underestimated. Second question is how different is the channel's influence on you and returning customers? So you cannot just avoid any segmentation. Segmentation is the best analyst tool. So you would like to segment all your customers by the regions they're coming from, by what devices they are using, whether they shopped previously on your website, or are they new? Because for a new visitor, it will be more challenging to move the first part of the sales funnel. And those customers that already submitted several purchases on the website, the conversion rate between first stages will be higher for them. So you need to understand what campaigns help your new users to make this journey happen, and which one return the old customers to your website. Next question is, do our reports take into consideration the impact of channels on each other, using different devices and real revenue? So this is if we just take into consideration the last channel that was in the funnel, then of course we don't do it, and we need to implement this approach to understand the roles of each traffic source. And again, the user journey is more and more complicated each year, so we need to take into consideration all the possible parameters. So first of all, this cross-device and all the revenue that is coming from all the touch points, both from the offline stores and from the phone calls even. And for example, how will the reports change if we consider all customers interactions with the website and not only the last one? So this is about what channels will be overestimated and underestimated when we run all the calculations. So how will you control the implementation results if you go this way? So it is not, if we talk about testing the attribution model, it is not this simple. It is more complicated than to test two variations of the same page, because if you you cannot set like two goals for the same advertising campaign. There is just, you can just set one number there in the interface. So, but what you can do, and again, you cannot compare, for example, two different periods. You cannot compare how campaigns were performing in March and how they were performing in April, and because there could be more factors than just switching to another attribution models that help you to increase your sales or decrease your sales. There could be some changes in design. There could be changes in the way you price the items that you sell. So there could be many factors. So the only way is to do it in real time, but you need to show the smart approach here. So the best way is to define several regions and run and maintain the old way of attributing the revenue and evaluating the campaign's efficiency in this region. And for the other region, you just implement the funnel-based attribution model. So the criteria is that those regions, they should be approximately the same in the number of sessions and transactions that are generated in each of them. There should be enough transactions, so there should be statistically significant number to be able to compare and calculate the results in the end. And once you set everything up, you just create a simple chart where you can see the ROAS comparison of campaigns from the segment A, which is region A, and segment B. So if the ROAS with the new approach is growing, then you can try to implement this approach for all the markets, for all the regions where you're operating. And there are two goals that you can set for yourself. First one, you can decrease the cost of customers acquisition with maintaining the same level of revenue. So you will maintain your profit, and you will increase your profit by decreasing costs. And again, you can the second approach, you can increase the revenue of your operations by keeping the budget at the same level. So this is the approach that mostly are chosen among the clients, because we as a business would like to always expand. But there are two possible ways, and you can go any way you would like. So by the link provided in the here down on the slide, there is a detailed explanation how the analyst, marketer, and CMO can cooperate to make this all happen. What reports to use, how to set everything up, just more in details and with more examples. So please go there and study that in more detail. So moving to the next slide. So let me show you some of the case studies that we prepared with our clients. So this is the results that they got in their projects while using the attribution model, which I just described. So first, we have the client OZON, which is a big retailer in the CS market. They were the first. They were like an Amazon. They started selling books, and now they are the e-commerce hypermarket. So they sell everything, and they have all the possible channels to attract audience and to increase their sales. So we can build when we run the attribution results for them, the attribution calculations. One of the reports that we got was this. This is the net sales comparison according to the of the last click approach with the funnel-based approach. So the 0% is where we were while using the last click approach, and if all the channels with the pillar below like below 0, these are the campaigns which were underestimated, and they actually value more with the funnel-based approach, because when we define the real role in the process and we allocate it according to the data-driven approach. And all channels that are under 0, they were overestimated, so they actually value less than we thought they were. So, and we can see that RTB channel, it was underestimated, and after we noticed this, we would like to look deeper to this with the client and understand which exactly campaigns could be improved to increase the total sales. So this is the first report was built in Google Sheets. Like, we use different visualization solutions for them. So we can see that we can go deeper here, and this is the report generated by the Smart Data, the inbuilt interface solution, and we can see that some campaigns are performing worse than we thought, but most of them are performing better and underestimated. So we just don't need to allocate, let's say, like 16 or 17% more to these channels. We need to look at the campaigns that drive this traffic and make this on the campaign level. So we need to decrease the bits coefficients for campaigns 1 and 3 and 10, and increase them for all the other campaigns. Then another attribution project that we have, which is a non-started case. This is Nvidia, which is a huge multi-channel retailer on the Russian market. Their goal was to so first challenge that they had, they could not run the attribution in the Google Analytics, also because they have different categories segmentation in ERP and on the web. So they needed to segment everything by their the business groups of categories, and there was no way to make the segmentation in the assisted conversion reports in GA, because it is a limited functionality of segmentation there. You cannot apply the settings of the unified segment, which are available across all the other reports for this particular set of reports. So this is one more reason, additional to the ones that I specified in the beginning of the webinar, which pushed them to using BigQuery and go this story. Then we chose Data Studio, because they would like to share this across the top management and across the category managers, which were not technical users. So the simplest way for them was to see numbers in on the colorful dashboards and to understand from the simple charts what was changed and take decisions based on these visualized data. And one more reason for us to do this was that there was a change in the market. One of the big players significantly decreased the commission for the services. So for many big companies, it was no longer profitable to work with that source. So they would like to understand whether they could refuse from using that service and increase budget and relocate budgets to some other sources. So they needed to see in which region what source medium participated in how many sessions, with the length of the session like from 1 to 5, and in with the path length more than 5. So in the end, it was easy to them to find out what was the influence of that particular source that they were thinking about refusing from, and it was very visual for all the decision makers, how the distribution about regions, sources, business group categories are, and what is the distribution of the path lengths that lead to the purchase. So we can see that the biggest number of all the threads that led to the purchase, they had more than 5 sessions. Then the most popular, it was only one session in the thread that led to the purchase, and then 2, 3, and 4. So by the link, there are more details which you can study like more deeply. And then the last case, which I'm going to talk about today, this is another multi-channel retailer. They're focused on selling their products for home interior, for household appliances, equipment, and all this stuff. And they used so they would like to build their own attribution model, and how they use the service. It was a source of unsampled real-time data about user behavior and cost data services for them. So they used like several ad server tools like Analyst Direct, which is very huge on that market. Streamed cost data to Google Analytics, and then together with the website data, exported everything to the Google BigQuery. They exported transactions from their CRM to make sure they have 100% revenue to allocate, and they also used a call tracking solution, which allows to match sessions of users who make purchases via the phone call, and to match these transactions with the pages and funnel steps they passed on the way to the purchase. So once they were calling, like before when they entered the website, the system showed them a different number. So when they were calling to the system, the phone tracking solution recognized so it matched the client ID of the user with the phone that he was calling by. And despite the user was submitted transaction via the phone, we knew all his websites and apps journey. And that's why we could attribute transactions made by phone calls, via the phone calls, with the data about online behavior of those users. And once all the calculations, once all the data was matched and combined in one place in Google BigQuery, we used export to Google Cloud Storage. Then they built their attribution solution on top, and they set up the automatic export to the Analytics, which is a system of bid adjustment for the advertising campaigns. So as an input for Analytics, they started using the revenue number, the revenue allocated according to their attribution models, not to the last click. And in the end, it helped to increase their KPIs. I will share you in which way. So just to be brief about their approach, so they were evaluating the, so they were deciding how much to allocate to a specific session according to how the user was engaging with the website. So the further he went in his customer journey, the more revenue was allocated to the previous steps. And in the end, they got the several results. ROI increased by 17%. Number of keywords without any value, with more than zero value, increased more than twice. And they had significant changes in the way they allocate budget for their category campaigns. Because when they combined purchases and online behavior data with offline purchases, they saw a totally different picture of revenue allocation among the traffic sources. So this is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed the webinar. Before we move to the questions part, I would like to invite you to our next webinar, which will happen on 23rd of May. It will be about how to, from the, let's say, cows data, how to prepare it and create and prepare it for informed decisions. And we'll talk about more about business intelligence. So we'll be waiting for you at our next webinar. So currently, I'm ready to answer questions that we got from the chat and that were not answered yet. Okay, so there were also a question to be more to provide more details on how we define whether this was a new or returning customer. So we not just define it by the cookie of Google Analytics. So we define it by whether a person made the purchase before or not. Because if we would use the first approach, then just the second time he visited the website, he would be a returning customer. And in this way, all the metrics for returning and users will be the same. So we use more sophisticated approach here. So and the result report, you could browse both by campaigns and user types. So you can also just select the orders from the new customer to understand better which channels are better in attracting the new audience for your website. There is also a question. Thank you, very good question about distribution of revenue between online and offline touchpoints. So how we do it? As I said, we can track, we can import data to Google BigQuery from CRM, and this way we have the offline revenue data. And if the transaction has the user ID, we can match the session associated with the same user ID in online, and we match it with the transaction that the person with the same user ID generated in the offline. So again, we can see the conversion from the last step made on the website into offline. Based on this conversion, we calculate the probability to make a purchase. And based on that probability, we calculate which share of the transaction revenue should be allocated to this particular session. So, and as I said, we also can track the phone calls and transaction made by the phones. So first, if you have a call tracking solution, then it is automatically matches your session with the call. If you have your own system, for example, then you can collect different user identifiers one by one. So one first person, like just, for example, he left an email, he subscribed to your email list to constantly get updates from you. Then, but he still, but he hasn't submitted any purchase yet. Then he called to the call center, and in this way we got your number. Then in the end, he made the purchase, and it was the first purchase for this user, and we finally got his user ID. Then we are able to match all the sessions where we see the same identifiers, the phone, the email, which belong to the same user. So in this way, we can combine all the sessions and match it with sessions from other devices if user used any of these identifiers while browsing and working with your platform in the app or on the mobile device. Okay, so we have no more questions. Once again, thank you for visiting us. We'll be waiting for you on our next webinar. If you liked the webinar, please give us some likes and comments. If you have any questions afterwards, please free to contact us at mail@owox.com, and we'll be happy to reply and provide you more details than we provided on the webinar. So looking forward to having our next webinar and seeing you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.